Tim. I have a few announcements for today. As I repeatedly had urged, at all meetings, um, please remain vigilant and practice the 3 Ws: wash your hands, wear your mask, and watch your distance. Residents are encouraged to go onto the town website and complete the town's law enforcement advisory panel survey, which has been extended now through December 31st, 2020, in an effort to have more people participate. As of this morning, I'm happy to announce we have 1,100 participants, and we have been pushing it in Facebook. We have sent it to, the clergy, and we have a good, well-rounded representation of the survey. Again, December 31st is now the deadline, the new deadline for the, police advisory survey. Senior Citizens Update. The Riverhead Senior Assistance Hotline is operational for seniors who may need assistance or who have questions on how to obtain available services. Please contact us at 631-727-3200, extension 653. On Tuesdays and Thursdays between the hours of 9:30 and 12:30 p.m. Messages that are left at other times will be answered in one business day. In addition, all town buildings will close tomorrow at 12 noon, Christmas Eve, so that our employees who work so hard throughout the year for our beloved town can enjoy some extra time with their families for the holiday. Town buildings will be open on Monday, December 23rd at 8:30. Lastly, myself and the entire town board wish to extend to each and every one of you, our valued Riverhead residents, a safe and a joyful holiday. Please remember the rules as you partake in holiday festivities and join us as we look forward to turning over a new leaf in 2021. Moving forward, first on the agenda, we had, Chief Hegelmiller. He's tied up at the moment, so we're gonna move.
He's here.
Chief, are you ready now? Okay, perfect. The chief is gonna present our, police monthly report. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning.
Good morning. No offense.
Yeah, I'll fly back. Okay. Hopefully everybody has a copy of November's monthly
Yep.
report.
Yes, we do.
Not much has changed. We're right, basically on target. Difference in call volume, actually, criminal incidents, I should say, is about 28 calls. And that'll be over, over 1,800 calls for the year, so it's a very small percentage of increase at this time, so. That was, the other thing that was up was domestics, probably just because of the holiday season. And, revenue was up, so I guess that's a good thing.
Chief, domestics is up across the entire United States due to COVID also.
Right.
Yeah, so it's holiday season, it's always been, an influencer, and then you have COVID, so, it isn't a big disparity here.
There is some bad news. We had the homicide up on Northern Roanoke Avenue in the month of November. The good news is there was an arrest, 2 arrests actually made in that, so.
And, that was more, the individuals were known to each other.
Correct.
And that's very common. It turns into getting back to the domestics sometimes, or the, people engaging in arguments, and during the holiday season and COVID and what's going on. 70% of all homicides throughout the United States are usually solved, and in this case, the person was known to each other, and a quick arrest, and we thank the Riverhead Police Department for being, so efficient and solving this crime.
And Suffolk County homicide.
And Suffolk County, of course, Suffolk County homicide.
And kudos, Chief, to the officers who made the arrest the other day with the handgun and the large quantity of crack cocaine, I believe it was. Nice job.
Yes, so it started off as harassment at 821, and then kind of spilled over onto, East Main Street, so. They did a good job.
Very good job.
And,
Loaded handgun, by the way.
Yes, loaded handgun.
wow. And the chief and I were on the, a police reform conference call the other night with Suffolk County Police. And one of the things that the panelists, I think they had like 67 people that were
There was a lot of people on that call.
on the call, and a lot of, young people, very articulate, but one of the things that was brought up is that not everybody has a computer to be able to fill out the survey online, so I know that you and the chief are working on getting a phone number where people can call in and take the survey online, so that everybody can participate that wants to.
Yes, and the survey I have mentioned in the past, the survey is also available here, available for hard copy where people can fill it out and present it to us.
And also our committee has passed out hard copies amongst their network, so it is out there.
But how many people have filled it out so far?
1,100.
So I think that's
Yeah,
coming along
it's,
nicely.
right, I think it is, as far as surveys goes, I think that's a good showing, so.
It is a good showing.
And Catherine, the rec department sent it out to the constant contact list. Pal sent it out. The clergy has been sending it out. The North Fork, chapter, Sister Margaret has handed out 400 flyers.
Pal has sent it out.
Pal sent it out. It's on our website. We boosted on Facebook. Copies are available here.
Good.
So we pretty much have reached out to a good part of the community, and because we're getting such a good response, that's why we extended it. Because the more you capture of a community, the more valid the study is gonna be.
We tried to have the school do a blast email, but they can't mix the two. It has to be only school-related stuff that they send out through their blast emails.
And again, anyone from the public can come to town hall and they can get a hard copy in both Spanish and English.
Okay.
We're getting there. Good?
Thanks, Chief.
Good.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Enjoy your
Chief.
holiday, you and your family.
Yes.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas,
Merry
Chief.
Merry Christmas.
Remember the 3 W's? You went
Yes.
over that, okay?
It's 4 now, isn't it?
And
Fourth
so,
one they added?
what's the, is there another W? Make sure you celebrate it with your family, that's lovely.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay?
be safe.
Yeah.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, we have recreations, matters surrounding proposed fee schedule and services for 2021. Ray Coyne. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning.
And good morning, Ashley.
Ray, was this, handed in before, cause it's supposed to be online, if we,
Oh, I'm sorry, no, I didn't hand it in before.
okay, yeah, so.
I can send you the whole report, though.
Can you just give that to Devin, cause they have to put it online now. Usually when you have something to hand out, we put it online, so thank you.
Oh, my fault, sorry.
No, it's okay,
Thank you,
it's
sir.
not a matter of fault, you didn't know, so
We'll give you a break 'cause it's Christmas.
Thank you.
Okay, basically what I'm showing you guys first are the numbers for the year, with field rentals, beach stickers, what revenue we brought in, and then the last page is the resolution I'm gonna be submitting in January. That's for the fees for the 2021 season, and it's based off these numbers, so. I won't bore you with all the details, but I'll give you the synopsis of everything. The first page is our field rentals. We rent out the fields, to various groups, and it brings in revenue. In 2018, we brought in 40,000. Then we increased the rates again for 2019. We had a 30% jump, and we're having more groups participate. It went to 52,000. And then in 2020, believe it or not, we lost the months of March through June, which was about 28,000 in potential revenue. But we still made it to 47,000, so it's just a 10% decrease. So it would have been projected, if you add that 28,000, we would have had a 43% increase. So the demand is there. We have more groups wanting to use our fields. There are local groups too, using them.
Right.
So it's great. And the next page, it breaks down all the group that uses our facilities. This for the 2020 season. It's broken by several categories. The hourly rate, how many hours a particular group is renting our facility. the rates, it's a league versus a tournament, which is pretty big, and how much they spend on the lights. So it just kind of breaks it down for you. If you want to check it out, you can even see like Little League, they spend 567 hours that we do not charge them. So that's something that I always wanted to look at with Little League. But still, you could see how much time is spent with the park attendants and what we do there. The third page is beach sticker breakdown. And in 2020, we changed the beach stickers to platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. So you could see the breakdown in 2020. Platinum did 2842, gold did 28920, silver did 15100, and bronze did a lot, 104,552. That's just the basic sticker. It was a good year. A lot of people went to the beaches. That was the one thing we saw. We were always, even at 50% capacity, we had to shut down the beaches several times because we hit that capacity. The next group is what they used to be. They used to be broken down by residents, senior residents, non-residents. The last three categories you could see, we did not allow non-residents into our beaches this year because of COVID. So you can see what the numbers were compared to 2019. So we were at 12% of non-resident annuals, 9% of the boat ramp, and then 6% of the daily. So you can see we lost a lot of revenue there, but overall it did not hurt us. We were actually 8% above last year's numbers in overall revenue. So the total beach stickers this year was 158,904, and then we did our online system for the first time this year. We had 8% of the population use the online, which is a start. At 13,735, so they would just, they could do it on their phones, they could do it through the computer, and we'd mail them the sticker. So that's something we're gonna try to push more. We're actually doing that on our Rec Pro system this year, so it's broken down by family. So we'll know exactly who gets the stickers, when they get the stickers, and we can break that down in reports. So the overall revenue for beach stickers was 176,459. And like I said, it's an 8% jump from last year. So that's a good thing, considering everything that happened with COVID. The beaches still did well. The next page is just breaking you down the online sales for Vipley. It tells you who bought the online. Residents were 80%, seniors 6%, resident boat and parking 5%, senior resident boat and parking 1%. Non-resident seasonal parking 1%, and a non-resident boat and parking were 6%. So that's the breakdown of the online orders. And we look at this to say, okay, how many people, we saw that 8% of the population were doing online, so we want to increase that. We want to do more online sales, less traffic in the office, and then we can track it more. So that's something we look into. That's why we look at these numbers closely, and it reflects on the final page. The next page is our East Creek Marina, and that we are in the black. For the second straight year, we're in the black, which is something we've been looking to do for years. We slowly increased the rates. So you can see the difference when we increased it to the final increase was done between 2017 and 2018, and it was a 23% jump in revenue. 2019 it was 2%, and then to 2020 it was at 100% of last year. So we slowly increased the price per foot, and I'm happy to say that you can see in the next page, it's the breakdown of all the expenses for East Creek, and at the very, very bottom, it's 12% in the $12,000 into the black, which is something we've been looking to do. We were always in the red with East Creek, with paying back the bond, and it took us years to get to where we are at now, and we're at a comfortable spot with East Creek, and it's nice to be in the black.
And we provided them with Wi-Fi down there this year too, which
Correct.
was a first, so that made a lot of people very happy down there.
Yeah, we try to do something each year. That was your project with the Wi-Fi, and it went a long way with them. And it didn't cost us much at all.
Right.
Not much at all. And you can see that in there.
Mhm.
So finally, this is the 2021 fee proposal. And what's outlined in red is where the changes we'd like to make. And again, the changes we make is based on the reports that I just showed you. The first thing we want to change is the rental fees. We are at $225 per day per field or the rink, and $25 an hour per hour field or rink. We'd like to increase that to $250. We see the trends continue to go up. We see the demand that continues to go up. So we feel we can raise the rates. We do look at other municipalities to see where we compare, and we're right on par. Some we charge more, and then some we charge less. So we're right in the middle there, and we feel an increase is warranted. I mean, why not? These are groups that mostly are groups that come in to use our facilities, and we take this money and we put them right back into the facilities, so it doesn't
Right.
cost the taxpayer any money there. The next thing down is, there's a $200 deposit that we require all groups to submit when they're booking the fields. In the past, we've given back the entire $200 if they canceled 1 week prior. But we feel that still some of the groups are still taking advantage, and they will book multiple dates, even though they may not have the tournaments on each one of those dates. So we feel that $200, if you cancel a week before, we're just gonna give you $100 back in credit. So this way, we're trying to, because we lose a good amount of money on a weekend if these groups don't have a tournament, when other groups would want the fields, because the demand is very, very high. So we feel just giving them back $100 will kind of put them in line a little bit to avoid the overbooking. So the groups will be like, all right, I'm gonna be very specific of what dates I want, so this way we have the other dates open. The next line down is hourly reservations. Again, we're just following the trend. So we want to go for $25 per hour. That's if you want to rent a field or a rink. So we just want to make it to $30 per hour. That and move the light fees. The light fees, we look at the overall expenses for the lights, and we feel it's warranted to move it up to just the 30. And again, we're following the trends and the revenue. If we can get away with it, the more revenue we can bring in for the town, the better. Okay, the next page is on the back. These are the picnics, and the changes we made in the picnics were, we changed it from, in the past you had to be 15 people or above. We changed it to 25 and above, and we made it from $10 an hour to just a $50 per day. Because basically what happens is these groups that come in, that's 25 plus, they'll stay several hours throughout the day. They fill all our garbage cans. We have an attendant there. That's why we charge the attendant fee for that. So instead of just charging them 10 per hour and then them telling us we've been there only 3 hours, we're gonna charge you the whole day this time. So it's only groups of 25 or more. Anybody can use our picnic areas for free. It's open to anybody. But if you wanna bring a group in 25 plus, then we wanna make sure we have an attendant there, and we charge you adequately. And $50 per day is really not a lot of money for groups. And we also added a non-resident rate. So if a non-resident wanted to come in and use our picnic area and it's open, we'll charge them $150 per day. 3 times as much because they're non-residents using the picnic. So that's something we added in there. If you wanted to keep in there, I'll keep it on the resolution. In the past, we've not allowed non-residents to use the picnic grounds. That's it. I didn't change the seasonal parking permits because we raised them before, and the numbers show that we made money and it continues to increase, so I kept it the same. In the past, last year we charged more from $15 to $20 per sticker for the residents, so we figure 20 is a good number. We'll keep it at that. Same thing with the beach access passes. It was 55. And then last year we changed it to 60. So we feel we made the right changes, and the revenue did come in accordingly, so we did not change anything on the seasonal parking permit. The next page.
What are we,
Sure.
going back to that, We've been getting a lot of phone calls from the beaches, obviously, seeing as the beaches were pretty full this summer with the non-resident beach stickers. So we're not selling non-resident beach passes, right?
No, we didn't sell any. In the beginning, we did. We did in the very beginning because, and then once the chief told us no more and the supervisor's office said, that's it, then we didn't sell any more non-residents. And the
so-
beaches were still crowded.
Yeah, I know, and they were very, very crowded, and we had to put extra personnel there. Jody, you bring up a really good point. You know, there might be a consideration for the board in the future
Yes.
to maybe hike the prices, you know, for the, day passes for non-residents or eliminate them, but that's something that you might wanna consider. Because I know I got a lot of complaints from Reese Beach and various beaches, Pier Beach, everyone, the parking, people will park on the side, drop people off. And at one point, and it happened in Southampton had to create an executive order to limit the beaches. So, that's something that if we see anything this year, that might be something that we would consider. And thank you, Jody, for bringing that up.
And if they are like non-residents that are renting a house per se for the summer and they come in with like the lease or then I think that there needs to be communication between the recreation department and code enforcement to make sure that the people have a rental permit.
Okay, yeah, I mean, they have to bring, we do that, we have all, we make sure they bring in all the paperwork to prove that they're paying taxes here.
Also hotels, somebody who spends, you know, 2 weeks at a hotel here to be out in the East End, and that's something, you know, so it would exclude hotels and
We have a deal with some of the hotels and some of the bed and breakfasts for hotel motel passes at $70 a pop. So they can order as many dwellings as they had, they can have as many stickers, so. But again, we weren't really giving anything out this year, we didn't wanna give anything out to non-residents. What's that?
I thought we decided to change that.
There was a problem with the, it was omitted in the code book. It was there for, 50 years, and then when they redid it, it was somehow omitted, so it's something that they're looking to put back in.
Yeah, well, we encourage people to come to our hotels for tourism, and they go to Splish Splash, and they shop, they go to the vineyards, they help the farms, so, I don't know, I guess that's something that the board will have to consider for next year, but if you have an Excel sheet that shows all the people that are non-residents that are renting houses, and you can share that with code enforcement, I think that would be helpful to make sure that the people are getting their rental permits from the town, cause they're not supposed to be renting, no transient renting, it's 30 days or more.
Yeah, they're renting, and if you like, we need to see their lease that they're tied to the house. Then there's the people who are residents of other houses, like those other, like condominium places. And we have a list of all those people. Who might have like a Manhasset license.
You gotta come
Yeah.
to the mic.
But they live in like Woodland.
I know.
Yeah,
They
so
can't hear you.
just-
Larry was saying come to.
So just share that information, if they're out of towners and they're coming for non-resident passes, just share that information with code enforcement so we can make sure the houses are up to code when they're renting them out.
Actually, Ashley brought this up, and we've done this in the past, but we've never actually had a meeting with code enforcement before the season. So next year, we're gonna look to have a meeting with everybody.
Good.
And this way we go over the sticker colors and the changes in the stickers. So it was a good idea that she brought up, and so that we can go ahead and talk about as well.
Perfect.
Yep, and also, consider possibly, working on the day passes for non-residents. I know I spoke with the chief about it, and it's something that we need to address, cause we have so many more people moving out here that our beaches are they're overcrowded, undoubtedly. Night, day, people set up tents, people came from the
Yep.
city with tents.
Yeah.
And that's something that we, as a board, and with you and with the chief, we should work on it for next year, so.
Well, the numbers could tell you. I mean, they bring in a good amount of revenue. They do. They bring in about $35,000 to $40,000 a year. But at the same time, without them this year, we saw an increase of 8% in revenue. So,
Yeah.
in a sense, we don't need them. And then that might be a way to go. So just let me know how you want to proceed with that.
Well, and after the new year, and next couple of months, we
Okay.
can start the process with the board and we can work something out.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I think the increase of people wanting to do stuff outdoors and at the beaches and such is not going to change. I think we're going to see that going into the next season as well.
I agree with you. I agree with that. Keep going down, the final thing that I changed in red was on East Creek. What we saw was, Bill had pointed this out to me, and this is something we're looking at together, is that the electric was a little bit higher than in the expenses than the revenue. This year was a little bit higher than the past trends, so that's a concern of ours. So what I'd like to do is continue to break down the electric with Bill, to see exactly who's using what. It's hard to tell down there. We know which boats are using it, but we want to see how much they're using it. So we went from $350 to $375 a line, and that's something like the same thing with the increase in the boat per foot rates. We gradually did that. That's something I'd like to gradually do if the trend continues that we're losing money on the electric. Overall, we're at 12,000 in the black, but in that particular category on the electricity, we lost money. So I wanted to increase to $25 per line and then continue to analyze it, and then if it warrants more of an increase, then I'll come back with more of an increase. I just didn't want to slam them all in one shot.
I think it's a great approach, right?
Kind of ironic with all the solar we have in town and our electricity is just going up and up and up.
Yeah. Everything else, the next page, we kept the same. We didn't change anything. Again, we didn't have a lot of, it really was the beaches that drew a lot of people. The fishing permits, we sold about $10,000. That was something we never charged before. It was always free. So we charge only to residents. They're allowed to get the fishing permit for $10, and that was a nice 10,000 jump. Transient docking, that's always been the same, $25, $40, $25 a night, $40 for overnight, $150 for the week. And that's something that's just pure revenue. We used to send somebody down there, but now you can book it over your phone. It goes right to our computer system. So if you want to stay, you want to stay for the day, you want to stay overnight, there's signs down there at the riverfront that tells you what to do, instructions, and you can do that through your phone now. So again, it's just pure revenue. We don't get a lot of transients. We would, during like the holidays, like when you get the big weekends that we have, the festivals here, that's when we get a lot of people in here, and this year we really didn't have any, so.
And that's never been a problem of the transients taking spots that.
No, there's over 100 spots down there. How many spots are there? Yeah, 125 spots down at the riverfront, so, that's never been a problem, so that's it. So the only changes that I was making, it was outlined in red, and again, it's driven from the data that we received this year. We feel good that we can continue moving in a forward direction with this, continue to increase the revenue, and that's everything. So if there's anything that you guys wanted me to change, I was gonna put this through for the January 5th meeting. I know I have to get it in by Monday, but if that's okay with the board, I'll put it in for the vote.
I mean, I don't think any of the increases look out of line, and especially if they're data driven.
Okay, yeah, if just take a look at the numbers, if there's something, just call me. I'll have everything ready, and then if you want me to make any subtle changes to it, I definitely will.
And I think it's really smart that you guys are moving more to online sales, which I think is probably better overall for everyone.
That's what we're trying, yeah, and this year's gonna be big. We're really gonna push the beach sticker sales online, and we like the fact that we can do it through the RecPro system, so you can easily do it online through your phone, order a sticker, you'll have it there within a day or two.
So Ray, I'm just curious, which fields are the most popular for people to rent?
Veterans Park is big. We rent that out all the weekends, pretty much every weekend. And Stotsky Park's big for the youth tournaments. We do a lot of youth tournaments, girls fast pitch and the Little League. And soccer's another one. Soccer's another big one.
Really hoping at some point we can figure out a way to get lights at that Veterans
Yes,
Park,
that would,
because
you see
that's
that revenue
town.
triple.
Yeah.
You see the revenue triple if you get the lights down there.
And I wanna
So-
take a moment to thank you guys for your work, and to thank all of those in the town that maintain our parks and beaches and fields and such, cause
Thank
they're
you.
all in good shape.
Ray, part of the reason your revenues are up are the fact that our parks, as Catherine just mentioned, are pristine. The fields, the buildings and grounds guys, your staff, Jordan, Ashley, Doris, everybody else, the programs that you put up are, we have a great recreation department. The
Thank you.
programs you put up are need-based. They're not just things you throw up there and hope something's gonna happen. All your programs fill up, and that's a testament to you and your staff and the work that you do. And again, B&G with the parks, they're really in great
They
shape.
do a great job.
We really
They
appreciate
do.
what
We
everybody
work well
does.
with them. Well, thank you for that.
Hey Ray, how's pickleball doing?
I was just gonna ask that.
Ashley's our pickleball ambassador, so, but,
It's good, but we haven't been able to really play because the crowd is too big.
Okay.
We have
I
to,
know.
we can't do too much open.
I know it's a very
courts.
popular sport.
We did try and
Number
start
one.
like tournament this year, that was pretty cool, but we'll
Yep.
see.
And I'm gonna say, with 3 kids, I spent a lot of time sitting at Stotsky Park watching ball games, and people from out of town were always, anyone was always impressed by Stotsky Park.
that's a great park, it really is.
Beautiful park and
Yeah.
well maintained.
Yep.
Frank, you gonna play some pickleball soon?
Listen, I'm an amateur.
Oh, they take it seriously.
Have you ever
know.
They do take it
My
seriously.
neighbor across the street had a court and I played once or twice with them.
Oh, I would never mess with Anne Marie. She's,
No,
she's
I
real,
don't think so.
she's tough down there. She doesn't take no prisoners down there.
And I wanna thank you also for, and it's been very nice working with you all of these years, and you've
Same
done
here.
some great things with our recreation department and your staff and buildings and grounds, and I'm happy to say that I was appointed as the ranking member of tourism and recreation in the state assembly, so.
Oh, very nice. So we'll be calling you, huh?
Hopefully we'll be doing some great things.
Great. Good luck with everything, Jody.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays, Merry
And May,
Christmas.
I
Merry
just-
Christmas.
May, I just wanna add, this is very good under the circumstances that you were dealt with today, starting, this year, starting in February. We actually did very well, and I thank you for all your work and your staff.
Thank you very much, guys.
We'll see you in 2021,
Yeah.
Yes.
and you have our support.
Hopefully a COVID-free 2021.
Yes,
Yes.
spring is
How
gonna be
sweet that
brighter.
would be.
Yes.
Vaccines
All
help.
right,
Thank you,
thank you
Ray.
again.
Thank you.
All right, moving forward, Frank Bayrod, who is our town board liaison to Open Space Committee, will discuss matters surrounding code amendment and existing vacancy. Frank?
Yes, this will be very, very short. So the Open Space Committee has asked that I put an amendment forward to the board. Anne Marie's in the process of putting a resolution forward next week, hopefully, or next meeting. And it really is just the omission of one line which says that the town board, blah, 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 they're appointed by the town board, staggered for 2-year terms, and this is what we're looking to omit. Plus 2 non-voting advisory members, 1 member from the rec committee and 1 from the Conservation Advisory Council. So it essentially lays out that they have 5 members, 2 of them are non-voting, and they have to be from one of those 2 committees. What they're finding is they can't seem to fill the vacancy because somebody from one of those 2 committees is not necessarily interested.
Okay.
So if we just made them all at-large voting members, we would be able to fill the open space on the Open Space Committee. So that's all we're asking for, and it's a great crew. Marge Acevedo is actually from one of the non-voting, so she would be automatically made a voting member, and then hopefully somebody from the community would put their name in for that 5th position, and we would have a full 5-person board. So
Good.
that's essentially what it comes down to.
Yeah, Marge is on the
Sounds
rec
good.
advisory.
Yes, yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's, are we gonna move
Yeah.
forward?
Yeah.
Jody, we're gonna move forward with that?
I won't be here.
Sounds like a
Well,
good idea, Frank.
Yeah.
You're
okay,
not
good.
gonna vote on it, but you're gonna agree, you're part of this meeting today.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you, Frank.
Okay.
All right, and moving forward, we have Greg Berman, matter surrounding update site plan application for Wellbridge Treatment Center. Good morning, Greg. Wow, he travels well.
You're not messing around today.
No.
I don't wanna kill a forest to get you guys copies of that, so.
Okay, so,
So for Wellbridge, this is gonna be a quick update, just to give the board a quick recap. The town board did approve a final site plan application for Peconic Care Addiction Research and Rehab Center, which is now known as Wellbridge, by Town Board Resolution number 163, dated March 6, 2018. That resolution allowed for the construction of a multi-building campus-style addiction treatment facility consisting of approximately 134,000 square feet of gross floor area and related improvements on a 95.6 acre parcel located within the Calverton Camelot, or EPCAL subdivision. The site plan amendment application, which was originally submitted to the town, called for the construction of a new access roadway from River Road, along with a security gatehouse at that location. Based on previous review from the town and its consulting engineer, that proposed access from River Road has been removed in this current set of plans and is not proposed at this time. There were a number of issues which were identified by Karen Gluth, who retired in April. She had conducted a site inspection back in January. I won't go and list everything. A lot of it, I don't want to downplay it, but a lot of it was minutia. It had to do with types of lighting fixtures, lumens, how they were indicated on the plans, a couple of minor indications about existing easements, really kind of minor stuff in the grand scheme of things. And the site plan application now does propose an amendment to the previously approved fencing. On pages 2 and 3, what I did is I just took a picture of the originally approved fencing and then a picture of what they're now proposing. One of the fencing that was originally proposed along the access driveway, which is off of Jan Way, was originally proposed as a post and rail system with black vinyl chain link coated fence. They're now proposing a more deer style fencing, varying in height from 6 feet and 4 feet. It would be along that eastern runway, which borders the subject property. And then along the southern portion of that driveway, they had
Greg,
originally...
what kind of fencing did you say?
They had originally proposed it was called a post and rail with 2 crossbars and vinyl chain link coating. Now, as you see in figure 2 on the staff report, it's more akin to a traditional deer style fencing.
Okay. Do they need a variance for the 6-foot fence?
No, not for a commercial property.
Okay.
And then along the southern portion of that driveway from Jan Way, they had originally proposed a chain link fence with a tiger salamander barrier, which would prevent tiger salamanders from wandering onto the driveway. They are now also proposing a similar deer-style fencing, 6-foot height, and again with that tiger salamander barrier being installed. The proposed amendments are considered an unlisted action pursuant to SECRA. Coordinator view is optional and not recommended. Based on the fact that the River Road access point has been removed and is not under consideration for this application, there's no need for a traffic impact study at that location.
Okay.
Staff would recommend that the town board classify the action as unlisted, assume lead agency, and issue a negative declaration, as the proposed amendments are really minor, will not alter the functionality of the site, nor will they pose any significant negative environmental impacts. Really, when I went out on a site visit, the site was absolutely beautiful. They did an incredible job there. I know they've been working hard. You can't even really tell that you're out in the middle of nature out there. So it is really a nice site. I would recommend the town board approve this amendment application, let them proceed, get their certificate of occupancy, and begin their treatments.
I did do a walkthrough at the location. It was magnificent.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, I could not, I was in awe. The beauty surrounding, the effort put in, the employees, the way they onboarded their employees, the way they onboard the patients in the future. And anytime this town has reached out to them, Andrew Drazen, he's always been very, very cooperative, and I'm glad they found a home. This was in the making for, I understand, 10 years, this project, and hopefully we can all agree to move forward on this.
I just have a quick question on the deer fencing.
Yes,
Because
sir.
typically deer fence starts with a smaller caliber opening and gets larger as it goes up. Is this gonna be especially small for the tiger salamander?
So the tiger salamander barrier is kind of a separate
That's a-
unit from that.
Okay.
What it is, it's kind of submerged in the ground, I think, to a depth of, I don't have it here, I could look, but I believe it's submerged in the ground, and it just prevents them from
Okay, I'm just curious,
traversing
'cause I
that
know
fence.
the typical deer fence starts at a smaller gauge on the ground level to prevent smaller animals from getting into whatever
Right.
field it is too, but I didn't know if this was something over and above that.
No, so that is on the north side of that driveway off of Janway, which is directly adjacent to the eastern runway. There is a 6-inch gap at the bottom to just allow for small critters, but it's on the south side of that runway, because on that parcel, there is a DEC regulated wetland, and it was identified as a tiger salamander habitat. So that's why that tiger salamander barrier is only proposed on that southern portion of the driveway.
So, because I recall that the DEC was pretty specific about what the tiger salamander barrier should look like, where it was almost like a wall, and then it had a drop curve, so that, you know, the tiger salamanders could get out of the property if they were stuck in the property and get to the ponds, but they couldn't make their way back onto the property. So, just before they install it and before the board approves it, just make sure that, cause you'd hate to do it again when you have your DEC inspections, if it's not what the DEC approved, the specifications that the DEC, the standard specification for tiger salamander barrier, that's all.
I will relay that to the applicant. I would prepare a resolution to have this on for the January 5th meeting. I can relay that to the applicant. Hopefully they can correspond with the DEC, because as you said, to do it twice, you know, it'll
Yeah.
just waste time. So
And money.
I will be sure that they receive that message, and hopefully they can get that done before the 5th.
Greg, why was the access removed on River Road?
There were a number of issues. It had to do with easements crossing the U.S. Navy property, the need for a traffic impact statement. It was really, I think there was just issues mainly related to getting an easement from the Navy to cross a certain portion of that property. So as of right now, the access, it does have a fire, just a chain link fence there. It is accessible for fire and emergency apparatus, but it is not proposed as a main driveway now. And they've removed that gatehouse.
And it also, the Alternative Transportation Committee was concerned about that being the access road also, because the bike path does cross over it also.
Correct.
So if it were to be proposed again in the future, then it should have a public hearing so that the, people that use the recreation trail, and that also, Peconic River Sportsman's Club, which was directly across the street, was concerned about that also. But I think all the concerns could be addressed
Correct.
if they were interested in having that as an access road, but it's, I think that a public hearing would be, something that would be, appreciated by the people that use the rec trail, the Alternative Transportation Committee, and also the, neighboring properties.
Correct, and that was a recommendation when that access was proposed. Karen Gluth did recommend a public hearing, probably for that specific reason. But being that that's being removed at this time and it's not proposed and these changes are minor, an additional public hearing to comment on some fencing changes and lighting on a plan, it doesn't really seem appropriate.
Looks good.
I mean, I haven't been inside because COVID kinda hit around when they were opening, but I've seen it from the outside and it is really beautiful.
Yeah.
Just wondering,
Good job.
how's it going? Andrew's here, right? It's hard to see, it's a long.
Hello, hi,
Hi, Andrew, how's it going out
Hi.
there?
how are you? Welcome, thanks for having us today, and thanks for all your support over all these many years. COVID certainly, has impacted us. We opened in June, for patients, and, we are seeing, very challenging cases come in, but, as we all read in the papers and see online, the use of alcohol, or all the stressors related to COVID have really affected so many populations and vast amounts of individuals who are in isolation still. And we think when the vaccine and the COVID subsides, those people will come out. But there have been a substantial amount of people who are afraid to come into a living situation with people in a room next to them or down the hall. But we're here. We have 75 full-time employees here every day. We're in partnership with Northwell Health, as you know, and with Engel Berman Group. And we're doing our best to help those who suffer with substance use disorder every day. We're here. So we're making great progress, but certainly COVID has affected everybody in healthcare at this point.
Well, it's certainly a facility that's really needed, so I wish you well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You're all welcome to come up whenever you want, when you feel comfortable. Take a tour, I'll personally walk you around. The supervisor has been up several times, and thank you for your comments. we're doing everything we can to help those who are in need of our services.
Thank you.
And Andrew, I know that this was something that it was a dream of yours for many, many years, and it's good to see your dream come true. And anything
Thank
you
you.
need from the
Yeah,
town, please reach out to
I
us.
think we started 10 years ago on this, and of course, this goes back to my childhood. So appreciate the support of the town over all these many years and all the many changes. And it's truly a beautiful site. Even when I saw it 10 years ago on a day like this, I figured it was bucolic, it was tranquil, and it was a perfect location for us to be somewhat secluded to provide our services.
Your dream came true, it's lightning to see.
Yes.
Thank you.
Beautiful job.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to all of you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
That everything, Greg?
Unless there's any additional questions from the board, that's all I've got.
No.
None that I have.
All right, lastly, Greg, you have another item to discuss with us,
Hi
matters
guys, thank you for coming.
Okay, matters surrounding site plan application for 32 East Main Street, Riverhead, Greg?
All right, I believe we have Marty Sendlowski in here,
Okay.
represent the application.
Last time he was in his car or something, we couldn't
Yeah,
hear him.
remember that?
He was
Hi,
having
Marty.
trouble getting in again.
Hi,
How are you? Good morning.
good morning, how are you?
Oh, you're not in your car today?
No.
All right, so, Planning Department has received and reviewed a site plan application which is proposing to construct a 2,290 square foot second-story addition onto an existing 2,700 square foot single-story retail building for the purposes of establishing a two-bedroom apartment unit on the second floor with a covered deck terrace area, as well as a stairwell to access the second-floor apartment. Site plan also proposes a new trash enclosure and a gas meter room on the ground floor in the rear of the building. The height of the proposed building will be approximately 29 feet to the top of the parapet on the northern elevation of the building. The site is 32 East Main Street, Riverhead, which is Bart's Drug Store, particularly identified as Suffolk County Tax Map number 600-128-6-57.3. The subject parcel is a 2,962 square foot parcel located on the north side of East Main Street within the Downtown Center 1 zoning district. The proposed action is a type 1 action pursuant to town code, as the application proposes a modification to an existing commercial use within the Riverhead Historic District, thus requiring coordinated secret review with involved agencies. We have identified a number of the agencies which will receive a secret referral. Additionally, the Town Architectural Review Board and Landmarks Preservation Commission are identified as interested agencies. As of this morning, Mr. Sendlowski did submit a full environmental assessment form, which will allow the secret coordination to start. Upon the adoption of a resolution, we will send out that secret coordination. Staff notes that the scope of work proposed by the site plan application is relatively minor in nature, as the application only proposes a second-story addition consisting of one two-bedroom dwelling unit. Staff recommends that upon completion of the required 30-day secret coordination period, the town board assume lead agency status and issue a negative declaration, as the proposed improvements will not have a significant negative environmental impact, nor will it impair the reasonable and orderly development of the surrounding area. I've just included a couple of photos in the staff report on pages 3 and 4 showing the street level views as well as its aerial location. The proposed building facade improvements consist of the second floor addition, which will be faced with a thin brick veneer along the East Main Street frontage. The plans indicate that this will be color matched to the adjacent building, which is the culinary school located to the west. The eastern building elevations will be a stucco wall finish, and it's indicated that it'll be color matched to the stone. I'm presuming that that means the stone of the adjacent building, if Marty can just clarify that, and it'll have 16-inch wide thin brick veneers. Staff would recommend that color renderings be provided in order for the town board, the ARB, and the LPC to make their recommendations as far as materials, colors, and finishes. I believe Mr. Sendlowski will be working on that, and he can get that to us during the coordination period, so it won't take up any additional time. Staff notes that there is no room on site for construction material and vehicle staging. The applicant must identify any areas that will be used for material staging. There is an existing vacant lot to the east, which would appear to be an appropriate area. However, this is private property, and if they are going to use that to stage any materials, they would require an easement for that portion of the property from that property owner. As I stated, the site plan does indicate that there will be a trash bin enclosure on the north side of the building away from East Main Street. That will be located underneath the stairwell. It's approximately 20 square feet, so that would allow for refuse from the apartment as well as the retail store to be stored there. It would be screened from view of any public rights-of-ways. And it indicates that this area will be faced with an ephes finish to match the stone fascia, along with painted doors to match the brick. There is no currently proposed exterior lighting by this application. However, the applicant's design professional needs to assess whether any kind of lighting would be required at the exit door on that stairwell just to comply with any sort of building or fire codes. I do note that the plans identify a new fire service line which will tap off the existing water main within the East Main Street right-of-way. Any work done within that right-of-way will require a permit for the DOT. Referral of this application is not required to the Suffolk County Planning Commission, as the application proposes less than 5,000 square feet of new or renovated floor area. We did receive a title report for the application, which was a bit outdated based on the date of submission. However, I did review the title report, and I did not see any covenants or restrictions which would prohibit the proposed work. Suffolk County Department of Health Services approval will be required for the addition, as well as fire marshal permits and building permits. But they are proposing to sprinkler the building, which is required by fire code and building code. So if there's any questions, we can open it to the board. If Mr. Senlewski has anything to add.
I do wish you were using brick. You're using brick veneer, stucco, and ephes, right?
Yeah.
It has to go to the ARB and the landmark still, right? Cause,
Yeah.
we know they don't like the ephes.
Right.
Correct. What's happening
I don't
is
like
on
any
the
of these
front,
materials.
the
No.
front of the building, since the front of the building, the second floor is stepped back, it will touch the culinary school to the west. So we're utilizing the brick and the color of the stone of the culinary to extend over on the second floor, which is set back from Main Street. The rear of the building, on the western side of the rear of the building, we're extending the culinary brick and the same stone look again because it touches that wall. But the reason that we brought the stucco in from the east side, which basically finishes the wall where the stair is and the dumpster enclosure and a overhang on the second floor, is that we are pending approval of the gallery project to the east. So that reflects the materials that would be utilized for that project. So it's sort of a blend. And the east elevation, we're using a stucco finish to match the beige color of the stone on the culinary temporarily, noting that that elevation, including the windows, which are not required for egress from the second floor, those windows eventually will be blocked off, and the new construction will be zero lot line right up against this building in the future. So we don't want to do a brick or an expensive material. We just want to keep it fairly simple. It is a stucco finish now with a painted mural.
Marty, have you approached the owner to the property to the east for a staging area?
Yeah, I can certainly do that, absolutely.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
the culinary is brick, correct? And the original Barth is brick.
Which area is that? I'm sorry.
The culinary is brick and the original Barths are both brick, correct?
Correct, that is
But
correct.
just, I mean, for me, certainly on the front of the building, it would be nice to have real brick there. Instead
On
of
the
like-
east side?
On the side that faces Main Street,
The front side.
the front,
Oh, the front, okay.
because,
Yeah, the
and
front,
I feel like
we-
the ARB will bring up these
That's what it
issues
said.
too.
They're
They
gonna
definitely
put the
will.
brick on it to match.
Yeah, the
color
front
of the
elevation
stone.
will match the culinary. It has brick and then they have like that scored stone. So it will
Okay.
match the culinary completely.
No, I know, but you're using brick veneer, right?
Correct.
Be nice to have real brick.
Yeah, the Main Street side is all brick and stone to match the culinary, and it's set back from the elevation of Main
Still
Street.
think like EPIS and stucco and those don't hold up as well, correct?
I mean, correct, they can be prone to damage, but as he stated, on that eastern wall, you know, if they are proposing a site plan that's gonna effectively cover that, to go and spend a lot of money on a finish that's gonna be,
No, I understand
Covered.
that. My concern is the side that's, the side that's
front.
facing Main Street.
the question being brick veneer versus actual brick.
Yes,
But the brick veneer is just a thinner brick.
Yeah, it's brick itself, it's just a slice of it.
Yeah,
Is
correct.
the culinary veneer or is it real brick?
culinary looks like real brick.
That I'd have to find out, I'm not
I know it looks like
sure.
it, but the veneers
think it
look
is
so
brick.
good, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, the appearance is the
You
same.
know, the new building that's going up on Pulaski Street is using brick veneer.
Right, I saw that.
That's exactly what you're
Yes.
talking about.
Yeah.
Well, it's gotta
I
go
just
through
have one
ARB,
question.
it's gotta
I
go
just
through
think it's always
ARB.
important to put better, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
and
it's
that's their, that's the
important to put better
purpose, so-
materials in.
Okay.
I just have one
Yes.
question. In the report, I didn't notice anything about issues of the parking area, two new apartments. Is it gonna be?
So
adding-
the property is located within the parking district, and
Right.
as such, they are not required to provide
Okay.
parking on site. I mean, that's been an issue for
And what about
any.
the enclosures? Will that encroach on any of the parking? No?
Nope, that'll,
Okay.
that'll be all within the
Okay.
parcel boundaries, they're not encroaching onto any town property.
Okay.
Good. Any
Just
additional
one more
questions? I mean,
question. What's the height, cause we're going upwards, right,
29.
on a building on Main Street?
I believe it's
29
gonna be 29 feet, and that's to the,
And that's
Parapet.
total, or just going up for this project? Let me, what page are you on?
so I'm just looking at the site plan, I believe it's on page, second page, third. 29 feet on the back of the building. Marty, what's the height of the building on the front of Main Street? But also keep in mind that it will be, the second floor will be set back.
Okay, so
believe
it'll
it's-
be regressed in,
I believe it's set
Yeah,
back.
on the front of the building, it will be higher, it'll be about 33 feet because of the grade sloping from the back to the front. However, the elevation of Barth's will not change at all because the front of the second floor is set back considerably from the facade of Barth's.
perfect, okay.
I did try, as far as the height is concerned, I did try to convince my client to build 5 stories, but he only needs the mom and pop, so we kept it simple.
Good. I'm
That-
glad
that'll
you,
be
I'm
another
glad you
job
didn't
you
win
work
on
on.
that one.
That's another job you'll work on, right, Marty?
I hope.
Yes.
It has to be 4 stories though. That's been established.
All right, so did the board have any other questions? All right, so what I'll do for this one, for next week's work session, I'll just prepare the type 1 secret coordination. In the meantime, I'll send that letter out in anticipation of adoption so we can shorten that time frame, and hopefully move this along, pending any comments from involved agencies. Next steps after that would be public hearing, move forward.
Thank you, Greg.
Marty, have a healthy and happy.
Greg, when will the
keep you
ARB
and your
get it?
family.
Thank you, you
I mean,
all
the
do the
January
same,
meeting.
thank you very much.
Merry
Thank
Christmas,
you.
Marty.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So, moving forward, can I have a first and a second to enter into executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Great. All in favor? All
Aye.
opposed? So moved. Thank you. Everyone be safe and have a happy holiday. Next board meeting is, 2 o'clock, January 5th.
Yes,
Like to tell everybody a happy holidays and Merry Christmas, and please be careful and be safe.
yes, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and I will be having my swearing-in ceremony at the next town board meeting on January 5th. So we'll see you all then, and hopefully you'll zoom in.
Merry Christmas, everybody, and stay safe.